I'm Lisa Marie. Welcome back to my channel. On today's meal prep video, we're going to be making dip. I've seen several people cook it on YouTube, except I have done a couple things different. First, for our ingredients. First ingredient is going to be, of course, Frank's Red Hot. I got the original. I am not a spicy girl. I can't handle spicy. So got some Frank's Red Hot original. Basically you'll need a can of chicken. I'm making a double recipe because I'm making it for my family as well. So I'm using 2 cans of chicken. Normal recipe calls for a Hidden Valley Ranch seasoning, half a tablespoon. Of course, I'm going to use a full tablespoon for my recipe. You will need either sour cream. I went with Greek yogurt myself. So you'll need a half a cup of Greek yogurt if you're making a double batch like I am, or a 1/4 cup. Normal recipe calls for a 1/4 cup of grated cheese. I actually grate my own cheese. I got the little grater on my KitchenAid and love to grate my own cheese. The recipe, normal recipe, calls for a 1/4 cup of Frank's Red Hot. I'm using, of course, a half a cup. Where I'm being different, and here, of course, is my chicken. And I basically drained it and kind of made sure and shredded up. Again, like I've spoken several times, I'm still, I'm just a few weeks post-op, 3 weeks almost. And so I'm not really eating yet, but I am testing, taking bites here and there. And my husband, who had RNY back in 2005, he's kind of doing this process with me. So I'm trying to get him back on track as well. Where I'm doing it differently. So what you can see here is going to be an 8-ounce cream cheese. And what I had him do, my husband smokes a lot of meat on his Traeger. I had him smoke this. I am using canned chicken, however, with a smoked cream cheese. And I did ask him to do this just to kind of give it a little bit more flavor. And our favorite person is Matt Pittman, who owns Meat Church. My husband's a big fan, and we follow him on YouTube, and we've been to Waxahachie. He's down in Waxahachie, Texas. So we use his seasoning on our cream cheese, and we're going to add this to the Chicken Banker Ranch bake. Where I am doing it differently, I'm not using it in dip form. I am going to actually bake mine. I've got a Pyrex dish here. I'm going to go ahead and get it sprayed. I just have some chosen foods that I got some from Costco, some avocado oil. Go ahead and get that sprayed up and get that setting. And then we're going to go ahead and mix up together all of our ingredients. So let me move everything out of the way. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my 2 cans of chicken. Again, if you're making this a single batch, make sure that you only use 1 can. I want to make sure that my family, they've been taste testing. I've been making a lot of stuff here recently. So they've been my little taste testers. I've been pretty much cooking all day today as well. Just kind of getting them in the swing of things too. So there we go. I have my 2 cans of chicken. And then next, got my chicken. So now I'm going to go ahead and add in my Frank's Red Hot. Go ahead and get all of that put in and mix that up there. Now I'm going to give it a little stir here. Let's start with this one and get all that incorporated. And my cream cheese just come off the smoker a little bit ago, so it should still be hot or warm enough that it's at room temperature anyway. So now I'm going to go ahead and put in that cream cheese. Does that not look delicious? So go ahead and get that put in there. Fresh off the Traeger. So we got our cream cheese added. Trying to kind of clean as I go here. Mash that in there. And I think that I've heard a lot of people make this, and the biggest complaints that I have heard have been the canned taste of the canned chicken. They weren't too fond of that. When I was discussing making this, and my husband and I had to go pick up some cream cheese, we were like, it's like we almost simultaneously thought of the same thing. We were like, oh my gosh, we should smoke that cream cheese. It would so take away that canned chicken flavor. But, and as you can see, I mean, the color looks phenomenal. Get all this mixed up here. As you can see, the cream cheese was virtually pretty soft. Oops, I made a little mess there. So now I'm going to add in our Greek yogurt. Now I'm adding a half a cup of Greek yogurt to this. The recipe calls for a quarter cup of sour cream. I'm trying to get protein. So even though I'm not really eating much of this, I am working on getting as much protein out of every bite that I can get. Get that all that goodness out of there, all that Greek yogurt. So, all right, so now we'll mix all that up. And as you can see, for pureed stage, you can see as I stir this chicken more and more and more. I mean, the thing about, I made sure and shredded it out of the can before I even, of course, started mixing it. But now that I mix it, I mean, look at it. It's very good and pureed. So now I'm going to add, I'm gonna go ahead and add our ranch seasoning. Again, recipe itself calls for a half tablespoon. I've got a full tablespoon here because again, I'm making a double batch. Thankfully, my little Pioneer Woman bowl here is big enough. I love her stuff. I know some of my stuff that you've watched, I'm using Le Creuset to cook in because that's kind of my favorite. But I'm another big fan of Pioneer Woman. As you can see, I mean, I'm sitting here stirring this bowl and it's not even moving because luckily it has the little rubber grips on the bottom. Most of the time you'd be chasing it just to make sure. And I've got the same little Le Creuset I was using to make my beans. If you watched that video, if you haven't, make sure and check it out. I made a black bean video. I also check out my pumpkin soup. All of these are puree stage friendly. I'm sure you've probably seen them on, they're pretty much on everything on YouTube. They're on TikTok. But these are my own little spins on them. So got all that ranch dressing in. Now I'm gonna add in our cheese. Again, normal recipe calls for a quarter cup of cheese. I'm using a half a cup for my full recipe here. Got a little mess there. Clean that up. And now let's work in our cheese here. Now, I've got that all mixed up. Does that not look delicious? And I cannot wait. I know that my husband and he's made the smoked cream cheese several times. Like the kids like it with tortilla chips or crackers, or really the smoked cheese kind of goes with anything, or just eat it with a spoon. That's kind of like how my husband and I do it. But our kids, they of course like it. They're thin enough, they don't have to worry about counting everything. So anyway, so here it is. Now take a good look at that. So now I'm gonna spread it in my little Pyrex dish here. Clean up my little mess here. All right. So I'm gonna put this in a Pyrex dish. So as you've seen previously, I did spray it. I'm now gonna put this in here and I'm gonna bake it. I'm gonna bake it. I've already got my oven preheated at 375 degrees. I'm gonna bake it for about 15 to 20 minutes until it's kind of golden brown on the top. I'm not gonna sprinkle any cheese or anything extra on that. Really got to watch that right now. So I could probably, if I wished, I probably could have added some protein powder to this, but I've chosen not to because, again, like, just in case you're inquiring about the macros on everything, and I'm not counting them yet. I will when I start my, actually in December, after it's been about 30 days, I'm going to start counting. Right now, I'm so limited. One bite, I'm done. So the can of chicken has 3.5 servings in it and has 13 grams of protein. And you gotta think, I'm looking at 26 grams times 6 in this little batch right here. There's plenty of protein. Again, you could add you do you, and you could add protein if you wish. As far as the calories on the Red Hot, 0 calories. It does have sodium and no carbs. Good for us, right? I'm still taking medication. And again, Frank's Red Hot is not really hot, especially the original, which is why I went with that. Because like I said, I'm a wuss. I can't do the whole Red Hot thing. The Meat Church Holy Voodoo happens to be my favorite. It does have 1 carb and 1/4 tablespoon and 1 sugar and 5 calories. My husband maybe used a 1/2 tablespoon on that whole 8-ounce cheese. So that's not gonna, I mean, for as little as we're gonna be eating, especially for those of us that have had VSG surgery, we're not gonna eat much. And as far as the In Valley Ranch, looking at the no calories in it, no carbs, it has nothing. So, I mean, just some sodium. So, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put this in the oven and take a look at that. And next time you see it, it's going to be baked 375 for 15 to 20 minutes. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. And the chicken bacon ranch is out of the oven. It smells delicious. Let me kind of pick it up here. It's still very hot. I literally just took it out of the oven. But I'm gonna pick it up here and kind of give you a closer look to the way it looks. Oh my gosh, it looks and smells delicious. So, I know I said I was not going to put any cheese on the top of it. However, after baking it for 20 minutes, my husband was like, you know what, it probably needs a little cheese. So I did add a you can kind of see it through there. I did add a 1/3 cup of some more shredded cheese. I just kind of sprinkled it over the top there. And then I proceeded to turn the broiler on. Broil it. As you can see, I did get it a little bit around here. Make sure and let me know what you think if you've tried this. Get ready to try it for the first time with each of you. Of course, I am almost 3 weeks post VSG. So my bite, I'm gonna pick out some here just so you all can see it and we can see this together. And take a look at that. Does that not look amazing? All right, you can see it probably steaming some. So let me go ahead and just take off a little bitty bite. Again, post VSG, puree stage, little bitty bites. I have probably only in my past few days taken like 2 or 3 bites. Still a little scared. I won't even eat all that, but I've got to go to try and let you know how it is. Okay. So I'm chewing, chewing all the required amounts. Couple things. Frank's Red Hot, not hot at all. I'm not a spicy girl. I can taste it, it's there, but not overly powerful. The smoked cream cheese made all the difference in this in the world. I've heard many people say, oh my gosh, if I could use, you know, like rotisserie chicken or something like that, it would probably taste better. I used canned chicken and with smoked cream cheese. I am not kidding. Delicious. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Let me know what you all think if you try it. Again, comment below, give me suggestions, and make sure and check out my other my other videos. I've done my beans as well as my pumpkin pie. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, and hey, comment back. Let me hear from you. Again, for those of us that can't handle spicy, the Red Hot is not too hot. Probably next out of the 3 dishes that I've made thus far, ranking wise, the beans are right at the top, but I have to say this is my second favorite. However, the pumpkin soup was really good. Make sure and check them out. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.